Hello, welcome to Zerift's thoughts on the grave domain of the Cleric. I'm Zerift. How are you doing? So this is probably the first time where, for mechanically for a class, I'm not sure how it would function mechanically. I know how it functions mechanically in a party. It feels like, well, a cleric. What do you expect from a cleric in 5e? Very supportive, very support oriented. Um, And let me tell you what I mean. Like, you look at a nature cleric, you hear the name nature cleric, you know what you're going to get. A life cleric, you know what you're going to get. All the abilities you're probably going to get. They're all going to be healing. Light cleric, you're probably all going to get damage-based spells that are either radiant or fire. But while fitting in the theme of the grave domain, which is basically a grave keeper, not to be confused with the death domain in DMG, not to be confused with the DMG death domain. It's its own thing. It's it follows the theme, but it kind of feels all over the place to me. Like you go from, like there's abilities like you can get the maximum healing if someone hits 0 hit points or something. You get spared to dying, and then you get add damage to when you do it from a cantrip. You get to add your wisdom modifier, which is kind of random. Then you get detect undead, and then you get to put a curse on a creature. So it's like most cleric classes, it's very support type, but it feels kind of all over the place. Like, does it just want to be a healer? Does it just want to do damage? No, it does detect undead, spare to dying and healing, all that, and you can curse a creature, and you could part of its channel divinity, and you can cancel a hit from a critical hit to make it a normal hit, things like that. It's all support oriented, but it just feels like it's undecided of where its abilities flat. So it makes it hard to tell how this would function mechanically. In a party, it would function just like a support cleric class. But in battle terms, I have no idea how it's going to play out. I mean, like, having the ability to detect undead, it's nice and all, but what if you're not fighting undead? And you get spells like Bane, Blight, some really cool spells. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, that's probably one of the coolest things about this class is that you got some cool spells. Blight, False Life, and so forth. Let's see, False Bane, False Life, Blight, what's the other ones? Shall Repose, Ray of Enfeeblement, Revivify, Vampiric Touch, Natural Shell, Raise Dead. So it's got some nice spells, to be sure, and yeah, it's just mechanically, I don't know how it's going to function in battle. In a party, you'll be very supportive. I know that much, but beyond that, I don't know. It's something I'm going to have to play and see for myself. As for a role-playing aspect, it's quite fine. It's actually, that's one of its strengths. is that playing a Gravekeeper that runs the night rounds to make sure the deads are staying dead and so forth. Like I know, I'm not gonna say his name because trying to be professional and I don't want to say someone else's channel that without their permission. And he basically made something similar to this, where a bunch of Gravekeeper clerics who were Gravekeepers worship the goddess, the Raven Queen. So it's not a fairly new concept, but it's still a cool concept. Role playing that would be so much fun. I mean, to explore that. What would it be like for someone in these worlds where the undead is presidented to make night rounds, to make sure the dead stay dead, keeping out Gravekeepers? I mean, grave robbers, keeping out grave robbers. My bad, not Gravekeepers. Grave robbers and stuff like that, and making nightly rounds sound pretty cool. Also, an adventuring party, so you could do a lot with it and have fun with it. I can see as a DMG that, not DMG, as a DM, I would have loads of fun making a story for specifically a Gravekeeper cleric, grave domain cleric. Ugh. But yeah, it's like, and I think that's where its bread and butter is the role playing aspect. Just that overall theme is just what makes it so much fun. And I've had so much fun that the first chance I'm getting, I'm making a Grave Domain Cleric to play. So, but I've already made my characters for, as you know, I'm DMing one stream and playing in the other. But I would, yeah, I would love to play one just for a one shot, just to try it out. And it's I would describe it as the class you want to is like the car you want to test drive. It's because it's still fitting in the world of clerics. It's something different from the holy cleric. It's just the Gravekeeper. It's the Watcher of the Dead. So I think overall it's a class that has a lot of interesting potential that I really don't know how it's going to play out, because the abilities are, well, lack of a better word, while fitting in the theme, still feel all over the place a little bit. Yeah, so, but still managing to be a support type class. So it's, in that sense, it's really weird. It's really weird. So those are my thoughts on the Grave Domain Cleric. So this is Zerift signing off.